In this video, I'm going to be giving you an example of a 30-minute practice routine to prove that you can still make progress even if you're short on time. If we haven't met, hi, I'm Megan. I'm a violinist and teacher. I've been playing the violin for over 20 years. I have my bachelor's and master's degrees in violin performance, and I'm Suzuki trained. If you're enjoying my videos, please just take a quick second to double check and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I can't tell you how much it helps me out, and it's completely free to you. And if you're interested in working with me, you can check the description for a private lesson application as well as my online step-by-step learning program, Learn Violin Online. Although there are numerous things that make learning the violin as an adult extremely difficult, being short on time or not having enough time as a kid does is definitely top of the list. As an adult, we have so many other responsibilities. We have to work, we have to clean, we have to take care of ourselves, take care of the kids, take care of our family, whoever. And trust me, I know how it feels to get to the end of an extremely long and busy day and have to practice. That being said, unless your goals are to become a soloist or play in a professional orchestra, you do not need to be practicing 3 to 5 hours a day. In fact, 30 minutes is plenty, especially if you're a beginner or intermediate. If you only have 30 minutes to practice, I recommend that you spend about 5 minutes on your warm-up, about 20 minutes on your pieces, and then about 5 minutes on performance practice. Warming up is extremely important, so please don't skip that, especially as we get older. In your warm-up, you can incorporate a few physical stretches, such as these, like getting your neck ready, maybe some neck circles, getting your arms ready, maybe something like this. I've personally found that it's more and more important to do this as I get older. And then when warming up on the violin, I suggest warming up each hand separately. So the first thing you would practice for your bow hand is obviously open strings. And the things that you focus on can be different depending on your ability level. If you're super beginner, then you're just practicing making sure that you're holding the bow correctly, making sure that you're getting a straight bow. Getting into the more intermediate or advanced stages, you can think about maintaining a clear, even tone all the way through and smooth bow changes. I recommend doing several open strings on each string. After that, I'm going to show you my favorite left hand exercise. So the beginner version is just to put all 4 fingers on one string and practice just lifting and dropping the fingers by themselves, one after another, in pairs, and then in groups of 3. A more advanced version of this is to put your fingers on different strings. So first finger on G, second finger on D, third finger on A, fourth finger on E. And again, lift the fingers by themselves, in pairs, or one after each other, in pairs, in groups of 3. After both of your hands are warmed up, this is when you would go into scales. In this video, I'll be using the G major scale and Minuet 2 as my example. It's likely that you have a scale or scales assigned to you by your teacher, or if you're going through an online learning program like Learn Violin Online, you should practice the scale of the key of the piece that you're playing in. And I recommend first playing the scale through slowly. And then after that, if you're more beginner, in different bowing patterns such as slurs or staccato notes. Or if you're in the intermediate advanced stages, you can practice scales with shifting. And scales with vibrato. After your warm-ups, you are going to go through your piece. Now, you probably heard me say this once, and I'll probably say it again. Do not just play your piece through. That is not an effective way to practice. Ideally, you have your piece broken down into sections and you have identified what you want to work on in each section. So when you get to the repertoire part of your practice, like I said, you should have sections identified and what you want to work on. First section I'll work on is this part. And I want to work on the intonation of my D sharp. So what I'm going to do, a really good practice technique if you are having trouble hitting a particular note, I'm going to make my tuner play out that note. When I get to that D sharp, I'm going to stop and compare. Take the tuner off and see if I can still nail it. And then I'll put it back in context. Once you have it how you like it, then you want to repeat it about 5 times in exactly that way. The next spot I'll be going over is the beginning string crossings. So a really great way to practice string crossings is to take the fingers out. So just practice open strings. Remember to be very soft with your wrists and fingers. Once I'm happy with how that sounds, I'll add my fingers back in. And the final spot I'll practice is this slur. Or those slurs, I guess I should say. So a really good practice technique for slurs is to stop your bow in between each note. So I might practice it like this. To make sure my bow is going the right direction, and so I'm using the same amount of bow on each note. And then I'll eventually take that stop out. And then I'll put it back in context. So as you can see, I've identified spots. I've decided on what exactly I want to work on in those spots. I've used the correct practice techniques to help me work on those things. I worked on them and then I put them back into context. Obviously, a whole other issue is knowing what practice techniques to use for what issue. So I will leave a practice technique series that I did to help you solve this problem in the description. You can check that out if you're interested. In the last couple minutes of my practice, I'm going to run through the piece. And ideally, you would record this because the recording device is a very helpful tool. It's an unbiased way to get information on your playing. And you can see if the things that you worked on hold up in real time. And then you're done. At the end of the session, it's a good, idea just to take 1 or 2 minutes to jot down what you did, what went well, what you want to work on tomorrow. And that's how you're going to make progress in just 30 minutes a day. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching.